Big Tractor Power fans, this video comes to you from Clarion, Iowa, where the world's largest tractor, the 1100 horsepower Big Bud 16V-747, has just received a new set of tires, the largest agricultural tires available in the world, Titan Goodyear's LSW 1400. In this video, we're going to take a look at the big tire swap on the Big Bud tractor. It definitely attracted a lot of attention from ag media, YouTubers, and tractor fans. We'll also talk about the history of Big Bud and the Big Bud 16V-747 tractor. We'll look at the machine's production history, specifications, and original price tag. Robert and Randy Williams, the owners of the Big Bud 16V-747, who farm in Big Sandy, Montana, will share their experience of owning the tractor and their excitement about the new LSW tires. This is the first time the V16 Detroit-powered 747 has received a new set of tires since it rolled out of the factory doors in 1977. To get the video started, let's head out to the city streets of Clarion, Iowa, so that you can see and hear this monster tractor take a spin around the block on its new set of LSW 1400 tires. The 16V-747 was built by Northern Manufacturing at their Big Bud tractor factory located in Havre, Montana in 1977. This tractor is powered by a 24.14-liter, 1,472 cubic inch Detroit diesel 16V92T engine. The The engine is set up with 16 cylinders in a V configuration. This Silver Series Detroit diesel-powered tractor was set with a factory horsepower rating of 760 with a peak horsepower rating of 1900 when the tractor encounters tough field conditions. 4 decades after the 16V-747 has rolled off the assembly line, the tractor is currently set to run at 1100 horsepower. This tractor features a twin-disc TD612609 full power shift transmission with 6 forward speeds and 1 reverse. The tractor is equipped with a 1,000-gallon diesel fuel tank. From the factory, the 16V-747 weighed in at 95,000 pounds and has an operating weight of 130,000 pounds. The tractor stands 14 feet tall, it has a wheelbase of 16.25 feet, and the length to the end of the drawbar is 28.5 feet. In 1977, when the Big Bud 16V-747 was manufactured, there were not any tires on the market large enough to operate the machine. United in Canada custom molded 8 35 by 38 tires. The tires stand 8 feet tall and each tire has the Big Bud name stamped on it. The original price tag of the 16V-747 back in 1977 was $300,000. Northern Manufacturing had plans to build additional Big Bud 16V-747 tractors. Unfortunately, politics, the economy, and the weather impacted this machine and made it a one-of-one build. The United States imposed a grain embargo on the Soviet Union in the late 1970s, which caused grain prices to drop. There was a severe drought during this time period, and interest rates were sky high and did not allow farmers to make a $300,000 purchase. Despite the setback of the farming economy in the late 1970s and early 1980s, Big Bud did manufacture over 500 articulated four-wheel drive tractors from 1969 through 1991, ranging from 250 to 760 horsepower. There has been no other tractor built to date that matches the Big Bud 16V-747. Let's take a look at some of its competitors when it was brand new. In the late 1970s, this 760 horsepower tractor, weighing in at 130,000 pounds, dwarfed all of its competitors. STEIGER Tractor would have been one of the nearest competitors with its Tiger III ST-470 tractor. Here we can see a Tiger III parked right next to the 747, and you can see just how much larger the Big Bud is. The Tiger III ST-470 was a monster tractor in its own right in the late 1970s. It's rated at 470 engine horsepower, and it weighed in from the factory in Fargo, North Dakota at 45,360 pounds and could be field weighted up to 50,000 pounds. The original price tag of this tractor was $181,452. STEIGER was the most popular articulated four-wheel drive tractor producer in the late 1970s. The company was only 20 years old at the time and rolled its 10,000th articulated machine off its Fargo, North Dakota tractor line in 1977. A popular seller for the company during this time period was the 325 engine horsepower ST-325, weighing in at 34,000 pounds, and it had an original price tag of $102,000. John Deere, the top-selling tractor manufacturer and North America's largest tractor in the late 1970s, was the 275 engine horsepower 8640. This tractor weighed in at 28,000 pounds and came with a price tag of $77,000. When the Big Bud 16V-747 rolled off the assembly line in Havre, Montana back in 1977, it easily claimed the Guinness Book of World Records title as the world's largest tractor. This tractor was specifically built for the Rossi brothers of Bakersfield, California, to use on their cotton farm as a primary deep tillage tractor. The brothers were using a pair of Caterpillar D9 tractors equipped with 5-shank rippers that could cover 15 acres in a 10-hour day. When the 16V-747 arrived in Bakersfield, California, it was teamed up with a 15-shank ripper. The tractor was capable of pulling this tillage implement at 5 to 8 miles per hour and was covering 15 acres an hour. The Big Bud 16V-747 spent several years working in Bakersfield, California, In the late 1980s, it was sold to Willowbrook Farms of Indian Atlantic, Florida, where it would work again on heavy-duty tillage. The Big Bud 16V-747 returned to Montana in the late 1990s when the Williams brothers, Robert and Randy, purchased the tractor to work on their farm located in Big Sandy. The Williams brothers fully restored the Big Bud 16V-747 tractor and put it to work on their Montana wheat farm. The Williams family farms 14,000 acres of ground in Big Sandy. Because of the dry climate in this region, winter wheat can only be raised on half of the ground each year. The other half has to be left fallow to build up enough moisture to sustain the crop the following year. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, before there were chemicals available to make no-till small grain farming viable, this fallow ground had to be worked 5 times a year to prevent weeds and grasses from growing on it that could suck up the moisture that was required for next year's winter wheat crop. The Williams brothers purchased the Big Bud 16V-747 to work this fallow ground efficiently and effectively. They turned the horsepower rating of the tractor up from its original factory setting of 760 to 900 horsepower and teamed it up with an 80-foot wide Frigstad chisel plow. This massive tillage team operates at 8 miles per hour and will cover 800 acres of ground in a day. Farming practices changed in Montana in the mid-2000s when chemical developments allowed the fallow ground to be left undisturbed and the weeds controlled. The Williams brothers were able to use 2 air drills to no-till in all their winter wheat, and the Big Bud 16V-747, an 80-foot Frigstad chisel plow, went into retirement. At the time of the Big Bud 16V-747's retirement from heavy-duty field work, one of the concerns for the tractor was the condition of its tires. It had been hard at work in fields in California, Florida, and Montana for over 2 decades. The tractor's original factory custom-made United tires were beginning to show their age. The tread was wearing down, and the tires were beginning to crack in some places. At the time of the world's largest tractor's retirement in 2006, the Williams brothers did not know of a viable way to find a tire large enough to fit this big machine. The Big Bud 16V-747 came out of retirement for a big event in 2009. It was the main featured tractor for the 2009 Half Century of Progress show. The Big Bud 16V-747 took a road trip of 1,471 miles from Big Sandy, Montana to Rantoul, Illinois, the home of the Half Century of Progress show. In 2009, over 60,000 people attended this big event just to catch a glimpse of the world's biggest tractor. The 16V-747 was turned up from 900 horsepower to 1,100 horsepower for this big event, and it was teamed up with a 15-bottom Wilrich moldboard plow to take part in the plowing demonstration at the show. Robert Williams piloted the big 747 at the Half Century of Progress show in 2009 during the plowing demonstration. He had never operated a moldboard plow before. He had always used chisel plows. He thought, well, plowing is plowing, and he cranked the tractor up to 8 miles per hour and sailed across the field. The Big Bud 16V-747 never even knew the Wilrich plow was back there. After the Half Century of Progress show, the Big Bud 16V-747 stayed in the Midwest and was displayed at several museums. Unfortunately, the United tires had degraded to a point where they really were not functional or operational to use with the tractor. The development of the LSW-1400 tire by Titan made it a reality to replace those original United tires on the Big Bud 16V-747 tractor so that it can return to work in the field. Titan's LSW tires with low sidewall technology help farmers maximize their productivity in and out of the field. While traveling at high speeds on the road, the smaller sidewall reduces swaying that causes road loping. It also significantly reduces the risk of power hopping and soil compaction in the field. LSW tires are quickly gaining popularity with a variety of farmers for big tractors, including articulated ones like this 500 horsepower Case IH STEIGER and this fixed frame 500 horsepower Fendt 1050 tractor. The installation of the Titan LSW-1400 tires takes the width of the 16V-747 from 20 feet up to 25.5 feet. Now that the tires have been installed on the tractor, let's talk to Robert and Randy Williams about owning the world's largest tractor and what it's like to have a new set of tires on this big machine. It's an exciting day for the 747. What is it like to own the world's largest tractor?
Well, we haven't farmed with it for 9 years now, but yeah, when we were farming with it, it covers a lot of ground, you know, and actually it replaces 2 tractors. So, you know, half the labor, and this particular tractor seemed to be pretty trouble-free, you know, we didn't have a lot of trouble with it.
After 40 years of service, it's pretty exciting to see the United tires replaced by the LSW tires.
Well, the old tires are the original tires, and that's one of the reasons we retired it for a period of time here, because the tires were bad, and they only made 8 of those tires. And we obviously couldn't find any more tires, and then we got teamed up with Titan here, and lo and behold, we have a new set of the world's largest ag tires made.
Will the 747 return to the field in Montana?
Yep, we're planning on taking it back this fall and putting it back in the field to test the tires and do some farming.
In addition to the 747, do you farm with any other big bud tractors?
Yes, we do. We have 2 other big buds the last series made that we farm with. We pull an air seeder with one of them, 86-foot air seeder, and we have a field cultivator. We can pull about a 60-foot plow with that, not plow, a chisel plow. Yeah.
I hope you've enjoyed seeing the LSW 1400 tire swap on the Big Bud 16V-747. I'm looking forward to tracking this tractor down at work out in the fields in Montana and sharing it with you here on Big Tractor Power YouTube. Do you farm with large flotation tires? What do you think about Big Bud tractors, especially this big 16V-747? I'd like to hear about it in the comment section below this video. And if you've enjoyed the video, consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there's over 1,000 videos of farm machines in action. As always, thank you for watching.